So in today's video, I am going to be comparing Southwest Florida to Greenville. Now do keep in mind this is all my opinion, but yeah, anyways, let's get into the video. Now before I do start this video, everyone, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, guys. It will be greatly appreciated, but without further ado, let's get into the video. So for a couple of months now, there has been a massive debate going on throughout the Southwest Florida and Greenville community, and that is if Greenville is better or if Southwest Florida is better. So in today's video, we're basically going to be going through a list of things that will hopefully tell us which game is better or what games do better things than the other game. So the first and most major thing I'd say is the detail of the cars. So when it comes to car detail, the first game we're going to be reviewing is Greenville. So with majority of cars in Greenville, they have a lot of good design into them. So for example, on this Lamborghini Huracan Performante, we actually have 3D headlights and also even 3D rims as well. Also, you actually have 3D sort of handlebars as well on the car, which is really good, as well as all the stripes down here, and also, like, you know, pretty much everything the car in real life has, the car in Greenville has as well. Also, you can see all the indentations inside of the car as well, which is some really good detail. And also, you can even actually see the carbon fiber material on the wing. Also, in this Huracan Performante, it also does have an interior built into it. So as you guys can see right here, it is a extremely detailed interior, especially for Roblox. We have an extremely decked out steering wheel right here with an entire control panel type thing that goes down like here, right here, like the real life vehicle does. You also have the nice racing seats as well, and overall it feels and looks so nice. So here in Southwest Florida, we actually have the Huracan Evo. So I don't think they have the Performante convertible in this game, or if they do, I don't have it, so we're just gonna make do with the Evo for now. But as you guys can see as well, there is some great detail to this car. So one thing about the Southwest Florida cars that I do not like very much is the fact that their rims are not actually 3D like Greenville's, and instead they are just kind of like 2D flat rims. They do have some depth to them, however they just don't look as realistic, and I guess it kind of almost ruins the car for me in a way. But I mean, it's not a major thing, so it doesn't really ruin the car entirely. Also, another thing that I realized is that, at least for this car, it actually has like no tire grip on it as well. So the entire wheel itself just doesn't look that realistic in my opinion. You can tell that it's not realistic at all, really. However, the back of the car actually does look relatively detailed nicely. There is some issues with the lighting as well, but I'll pass up on them for that. Like, that's not a big issue. But overall, the back of the car does look pretty nice. And also, they have done a similar thing to Greenville with the sort of like handlebars, where you can actually see the depth to it, which looks really realistic as well. So I'll definitely give them some points for that. And also, they have 3D headlights as well as Greenville does. So overall, this thing is also really detailed. But now let's actually move on to the interior. So when it comes to the interior, it's not necessarily terrible. However, I would say Greenville definitely takes the crown for this, because even though the Southwest Florida interiors don't look that bad, and in fact they actually look pretty decent, Greenville definitely takes the realism aspect to a whole nother level when it comes to the interiors of the vehicles. So due to all those points that I've made, comparing the Southwest Florida car details to the Greenville car details, I will probably have to let Greenville take the crown for that one. So guys, the next thing I'm going to be moving on to here is car physics. So basically what I'm talking about here is everything from handling to body roll and etc. So within Greenville is really well known for having great car handling, great, you know, speed stuff and all of that. And Greenville overall does a great job at all of this stuff. And when driving around in the cars, you can kind of tell that there is some, like, it's not fully arcade-ish, I guess. And also your car also like actually goes a realistic speed. Also within Greenville, they actually give you the option to change your turning speed to suit your style of turning and stuff like that. Also, to demonstrate body roll in this game, for example, when I'm turning my 6x6, you can actually see that the car does sort of move around a lot more, and you can almost see the suspension kind of moving along, which is very realistic to real life as well, because if you're doing a sharp turn in real life, your car isn't going to just stay still. and stuff like that. Also, you can see that there is actually smoke coming out of your exhaust in some cases. So for example, when I accelerate like that, then you can actually see a little puff of smoke coming out of the exhaust. And also when I'm idling in neutral, it also happens as well. However, one thing I don't like is that when I just fully rev up, my car just constantly spits flames, which isn't necessarily realistic to real life, because if you just fully start revving your car like this in real life, your car usually won't just start spitting flames rapidly like this non-stop. So when it comes to Southwest Florida as well, they have relatively good car physics. I mean, from this car at least, you can tell that the handling is actually, I can actually feel the heaviness in the handling of this car. And I do think they have actually slightly improved the actual handling since last time. However, as you guys can see, when I do start speeding up and I start moving around like this, I do start to lose a little bit of control with my car, even with traction control turned on. But one thing that I do actually love with this car, or at least with cars in Southwest Florida, is that your cars actually do backfire quite a bit, even when you're just kind of like letting go of your acceleration. And also, if I'm in neutral, if I just go like this, my car doesn't tend to really start spitting flames until I actually release my acceleration from the car. And that's something that I think really Greenville is missing a lot on. So yeah, for that, I'm probably going to give this a tie, because both games do have pretty good car physics overall, and also some good attention to detail. However, I do like things that Southwest Florida has as well. Also, another thing that I just want to point out that I didn't actually point out yet is that Southwest Florida also actually has some pretty good body roll. It's pretty much the same as GV's, as you can see when I turn around in a truck especially. You can actually see the suspension and stuff like that kind of wobbling around within the car. So yeah, again, it's still going to end up being a tie for this, because I feel like both games do have some really good things, and both of the games do have some really good really good handling and stuff like that, but I feel like it's just way too hard to decide a winner for this, since they both do a really good job at it. So for the next one here, I'm actually going to be staying in Southwest Florida for this. So this is map design. Now, I actually do quite like the map here in Southwest Florida. I do feel like it feels a little bit more cartoonish than Greenville does, especially the new Southwest Florida map. I did enjoy the old one a lot more. However, I do really like the atmosphere of this one too, with all of the trees and the bushes and stuff like that. One thing I do really think this map lacks though is the size to actual buildings that you can go into comparison, if you guys know what I mean. So the map is huge, right? And it's massive compared to Greenville. However, there's so many buildings that you aren't able to go inside of. Now, I feel like that's really what Southwest Florida is missing out on, because even though they do have a lot of great buildings in this game and overall a great map, you cannot go in majority of buildings. I mean, let's just count some. So you cannot go in that building, you can't go in this one, you can't go in that one. Let's think. Most of these buildings over by FinTech you can't even go into. The only buildings that you can actually go into are the ones that are marked on the map, which, as you guys can see, there is a decent selection, and as we get closer to these ones, you'll be able to see more. However, to the size of the map, like to how big the actual map is, it's not very good, to be honest, how much buildings you can't go into. And that's why I think and wish kind of that Southwest Florida's new map wasn't so big, because Southwest Florida's original map was a very good size, and also you could actually go inside of quite a lot of buildings as well for the size of the map. However, when they did their revamp, the map just became way too big, and there were not a lot of buildings that you could actually go inside of. But that's really my only main complaint for this map. Otherwise, I actually do really like this map, because I overall like the atmosphere, and it just gives off a really, really nice vibe. And overall, it's just a really good map to cruise around and stuff like that, especially in convertible cars and all of that. It's just really, really nice. So now, guys, we are going to be moving on to Greenville's map. Now, I also love Greenville's map as well, and the main reason is because that there are nowhere near as much prop buildings as Southwest Florida has, and also the map is not too majorly huge. One thing that I do think Greenville really lacks though when it comes to map design is the atmosphere. Now, I know that Greenville is trying to make it look as realistic as possible to the actual location. However, I feel like we are lacking a lot of stuff. Now, Greenville has definitely improved on this within last update, where they actually added an option so then you can have more trees within your game, which was definitely a massive step up from what we had previously. However, I feel like it would be really, really good if Greenville could also have some more stuff like bushes and etc., just like laying around the map kind of sort of thing. if you know what I mean. Also, I do wish, instead of Greenville, and this also kind of goes for Southwest Florida as well, instead of them constantly adding new prop buildings in, I kind of wish that they would just keep the prop buildings that they have now, but add interiors into those buildings, instead of just adding more and more prop buildings, because over time, it's just going to kind of get a bit insane, and this game is going to become sort of like Southwest Florida in a way, with the map at least, where we'll have way too many prop buildings for the actual size of the map. But overall though, when it comes to map design, I'm probably going to be giving this one over to Southwest Florida, just because in my opinion at least, and this is mainly my opinion, I just do think Southwest map gives off a much better vibe, and also I feel like the supercar and hypercar theme as well, which most people use in these types of games, fits Southwest Florida a lot more than Greenville does. But I do still absolutely love Greenville's map and the attention to detail they have to most places in this game. However, I do just overall like the map of Southwest Florida a lot better. Also, another thing I just point out here is the paywall behind a lot of cars. So a lot of cars in this game that are actually somewhat good require game passes. For example, this requires a luxury game pass, these all require the electric game pass, this requires the sports game pass, and etc. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, however, I feel like Southwest Florida does a lot more of a better job when it comes to game passes. Now, the reason why I say that is because that Southwest Florida actually makes it so you can join any job you want or buy any car you want. However, if you do want any upgrades to those cars or jobs or anything, then you will have to pay Robux to upgrade them. But the thing is though, is that they aren't necessarily locked behind a paywall. It's just that if you do want to get paid more, for example, or if you do want your car to have some more customization options, then you will have to pay for it. And I do feel like this is much better, especially for the players who can't unfortunately get Robux or anything like that, because with Greenville, in their case, majority of the cars and stuff do require game passes, which does really suck. However, I do also understand that Greenville will most likely be keeping it like this for pretty much the rest of the time the game exists. Most likely because of the fact that if they ever do land up removing game passes and stuff like that, people are instantly going to get mad at Greenville and saying that they got scammed and stuff like that, which I can also understand. But I mean, yeah, Southwest Florida definitely did a lot more better when it came to game passes and etc. So now for the next one here, we are going to be doing a sound design comparison. So basically, I'm going to be comparing both the sounds for the Hurricane Performante in Greenville and the Hurricane Greenville in Southwest, and the Hurricane Evo in Southwest Florida. So as you can see right here, if we go into the Hurricane Performante and start this thing up and give it a little bit of a drive around right here. So it has a very realistic startup sound, and then the driving sound. As you can see, it sounds decent, but for, it's a Roblox car, it's not going to sound fully realistic. It sounds okay, but there's just some slight details missing. For example, the backfire sounds as well. The cars in this game don't seem to get a lot of backfire unless you actually rev it up yourself or something like that. Or if you put the car in semi, then it seems to do it a lot more. But yeah. So as you guys can tell, when it comes to Greenville sound design, it's not the greatest, it's not terrible either though, but let's go ahead and see what Southwest Florida offers us. So right here, we are actually going to be getting out the same car, or the same car that I said we were going to get out, which is the Hurricane Evo, and we are going to be testing out the sound design on this. So if we just get inside of the car and open up the roof, and press F to turn it on, as you guys can see, they are using a different sound for the car, but it also sounds extremely realistic and was most likely taken from the real car. Now, revving the car up doesn't sound as realistic as the startup. However, you guys can hear some major backfire, which sounds amazing in my opinion. And now if we actually go ahead and drive this thing, let's test it out. Now, honestly, I'm just gonna say it right here, hands down, Southwest Florida has a way better car sound. As you guys can hear, everything from, shifting gears to the backfire and everything just sounds way better. You guys can't even deny that. In my opinion, Southwest Florida does have the much better car sound design. And I mean, for a Roblox car, this is actually amazing, to be honest, how the thing sounds. And I do really wish Greenville also had similar car sounds to Southwest Florida, because as a whole, the game honestly does do a much better job, in my opinion, at least when it comes to sound design. So now guys, I'm going to be moving on to jobs. So jobs in both games are pretty good, and also for Greenville I will be taking an example for the interactive jobs that they are implementing into the game now, just because that in the future majority of the jobs, if not all of them, will become interactive. So just to be fair, I am going to be showcasing the interactive job system. But yeah, so as I was saying, both games have very good job systems. However, let's go ahead and decide which game actually has the better system. So as you guys can see right here is the bulk priced food shop. So nothing too interesting, to be honest. However, when we actually get into working the job, as you can see, you automatically claim the aisle, and then you also have AIs that walk up to your place right here. Now, as you can see, they have actually spawned in an AI of myself, which is pretty scary, but you know, you guys get the point. So basically, an AI walks up to your sort of cashier place, at least with this job, and basically they make you scan their food and then you get paid for it. So as you guys can see, if I go in first person here, I basically go pick up the food, scan it, put it in the bag like so, and then basically once I'm done scanning all of the food, the cash register will open up and I have to add up all their change like this and then like that. And basically, once I add up all of their change, pretty much I will get paid for it. Now, as you can see, it is quite a lengthy process. However, it is really fun to do. And also, another thing is that you don't even need anybody in your server to actually do this, due to the fact that in every single private server, you actually have an option to turn off NPCs or turn NPCs on. So pretty much, you can actually do this by yourself as long as you have NPCs enabled. And overall, I actually do really love this, especially because it's just really good to do. Like, you could be sitting here watching YouTube while doing your jobs and you would still get paid for it, which is a really good thing. And in the future as well, they will be adding a promotion system. However, we won't count that yet since they haven't actually added anything like that into the game as of current. So now guys, we're going to be moving on to Southwest Florida here. So I'm actually going to be equipping the Star Blocks job. Now, one thing I do like is that when you actually equip your job, you basically spawn straight over to the location as soon as you click it, so then you don't have to bother driving over there. So basically, if I go behind the counter here, as you guys can see, I can't actually do the job because nobody has sent me an order yet. However, when somebody does send me an order, it should pop up somewhere on your screen, and then basically you can actually go and click on the item that they will want, and basically then their name will pop up here and you can order, and then you can give it to them, and I think you do get paid. So it's also a pretty good system, and I do personally like this as well. However, also another thing that Southwest Florida does a lot better, right now at least, is that you can actually get promoted. So as you can see, you have a job title that you can get promoted to, and also you have a promotion percentage, which is how much you need before you actually get promoted again. Also, it shows you how much you get paid per how many seconds, and also you can actually get a higher pay and a higher promotion speed if you buy the game passes to do so. So overall, when it comes to this, I will probably be calling this a tie again, just due to the fact that in the future, Greenville will also be adding the same system, or at least something similar. So yeah, but yeah, Southwest Florida also does a great job at this, but I do feel like Greenville's job system is also way more realistic because you actually have to physically scan the items and stuff like that. So now we are going to be going through details within both games. So, for example, when you go over a curb too hard, your car tire actually pops, and also when you drive over dirt over 30 miles per hour, your car actually does get dirty. Now, in order to fix a pop tire, you can either respawn your car, or you can actually go and get a drill from the Tires Plus shop and fix it that way. And to wash your car, you can actually go to any car wash on the map and get it washed in there. So as you guys can see, my car is actually starting to get a little bit dirty here, which is actually pretty realistic. So as you guys can see right now, my car is overall pretty dirty right here. So basically, what I'm actually going to be doing is driving over to the nearest car wash, and I will actually be showing you guys what it looks like to get your car washed. Also, I thought I would point out that you actually do have speed bumps in the game as well within the new updates, which is pretty cool. And also, you actually can get fire hydrants now, where if you smack into them at a certain speed, you can actually break them. Now, for some reason it didn't work there. I probably need to smack into it a lot harder. but we'll probably go back to that and then try and smack into it harder than we did before. So as you guys can see, if we go through the car wash here, it actually also has an animation to it, but as soon as we go out, the car should eventually clean itself. It does take a little bit sometimes, but now my car is actually fully clean. And if we also smack into this fire hydrant, as you can see, it actually breaks and then water starts pouring out of it, which is very cool. Now within Southwest Florida, there's not much detailed things. Like for example, your tires cannot get popped, you can't get your car dirty and go through a car wash, and etc. And even though Southwest Florida does have details with other things, when it comes to actual things that you can do with your car, I guess like kind of like fixing your car, I guess like kind of washing it and stuff like that, Southwest Florida doesn't really do that great with it. And I mean, they do have options to, for example, lower your car and stuff like that, and also change the rims, but Greenville also has that, apart from lowering your car. But yeah, it's nothing really major, and I feel like Southwest Florida does kind of lack with that type of stuff. I'm sure most of you guys can agree with me here, but yeah, so for that, I'm probably going to let GV take the crown on this one. And now the next thing is things that you can do within the game. So in Southwest Florida, there is many things that you can do in the game. For example, obviously working at shops, and also even AFK grinding as well is actually surprisingly allowed in this game. Also, they have an extremely realistic criminal team as well, where you can actually go ahead and rob stores instead of like Greenville, where literally all you can do is run around, pretend to rob places and kill cops, which I don't like as much, or anywhere near as much, because Southwest Florida, like, they do a much better job with this stuff, I'd say, because, you know, you can actually rob places as criminals, and like the police job is also very realistic too. And yeah, it's overall a lot more better in Southwest Florida when it comes to that stuff. Now, when it comes to Greenville, they have definitely improved on things that you can actually do within the game. So, like, for example, we now actually have interactive jobs that also, like, you actually have to physically scan the food, physically make the food, and stuff like that. So that's a lot better than what Greenville used to have. However, when it comes to things like the criminal job, you can't really rob anywhere, and it's overall just not the greatest. However, I'd say Greenville does do really good at things like testing out cars and like having more realistic cars overall. So they do actually have an entire airport that is pretty much just for doing drag races and etc. to kind of test out the performance of the cars that you have. And that is actually a really fun thing to do, you know, when you're not role playing. Also, if you go down to the baseball pitch behind Cenex, that's also a really good place to do stuff like demolition derbies and stuff like that, which probably a lot of you guys know that I do that from a lot of my streams as well. And that's another really good thing to do as well when you have nothing else to really do, and etc. So both games do a really good job at this, so due to that, I am going to be giving both games a tie. So that is right, both games scored the same score. However, I want to know what you guys think and why you guys think whichever game you choose is better than the other, because I'm honestly really open to hear all of your guys' opinions, and I am actually really surprised with how good Southwest Florida actually turned out to be, because I actually did personally think Southwest Florida was a lot worse than GV in a lot of cases, until I actually realized, you know, how much they are actually like similar to each other and how much Southwest Florida actually does better than Greenville and vice versa. But yeah, tell me what you guys think in the comments, and tell me what you guys think is better, and give me a reason why. I would really like to hear. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. See you later, and goodbye.